I'm glad I just finished that video. So, I guess I can kick back for a little bit. I've got a week till I've got to get my next one out. And I just downloaded a new game, and I would love to be able to play it for a couple hours, but, I still do have other things to do, other responsibilities and all that. Batman, you have got to tell me when to stop playing, alright? Alright, let's go. Fuck. God, I guess it's time to do another one of these. Okay, in this adventure, Indy and his family go to Russia, and he screws everything up. So, Indy runs away, and he meets this old guy. And I was really enjoying their interactions, and they were fun. They were a fun comedic duo, because Indy was running away from his family, and the old guy was also running away from his family. And it was fun, and they were both petty toward each other, and it was great. And then we found out that this guy is apparently Leo Tolstoy, the author of War and Peace. I don't know if this makes the episode more or less interesting. It just kind of is the way that it is, I made a note about how the plot is moving quicker than usual. So, that's nice. I have a very short attention span, so thanks, Lucas. It's kind of interesting how Tolstoy says something along the lines, to each according to their need, which, as we all know, is dirty, commie, filthy propaganda. And it kind of makes you wonder if, Indy really did respect this guy and he learned from him in his younger years. Why exactly he was so hostile towards the Reds in his later years? Like, obviously there's a lot to hate about the Soviets or whatever. But, that way he disgustingly says, comrade. It's just kind of weird. It's just kind of weird and doesn't necessarily match up with this. There's some ragtime style music occasionally, like it's at the beginning and there's a bit at the end. And it's a good aesthetic. And I guess Indy eventually gets back to his family or whatever. And I looked it up, and after Tolstoy ran away from his family and, returned to them, he died a few days later. Again, I don't know if that makes this episode more or less interesting. It just kind of is the way that it is, Alright, next adventure. In this one, oh no, Miss Seymour is sick on the train right there. And so Indy's mom, for whatever reason, has to take care of her. So Henry Jones Sr. has to spend time with his son, and the Jones boys go on a venture together in Greece. Hooray. The two segments feel more connected this time around than they have in the previous 3 episodes. Probably because I looked it up, and these two were actually part of, the same episode. I think they were, also put together with one with young Indy, who we'll get to in a few weeks. If I can actually find the motivation to keep doing this series. But these 2 segments were actually part of the same episode. And so the bridging segment doesn't have any awkward aging or de-aging for Indy or anything. It's just kind of, it's cool. It's cool, and they're connected, and the train ride actually makes sense. And if I'm not mistaken, the timeline actually lines up for that train ride to take them from Russia to Greece. I'm glad we're actually getting some travels with Father. This episode is called Travels with Father, but the first travel was definitely not with Father. It was with the author of War and Peace, who, as all of us Indiana Jones aficionados know, is not Indiana Jones' father. So why was the first one called Travels with Father? Who knows? Your guess is as good as mine. This one actually is a travel with Father, because as I said before, Henry Jones Sr. has to spend time with his son. and it's fun getting to see the relationship. I've expressed how much I like the relationship between Indy and his mom, but it's fun getting to see Indy and his dad too. I didn't really have much of a reason to like them before because it was just kind of Henry Sr. going, "Oh, Junior, eat your tripe or whatever." But this one is interesting. They actually get to be friends and they learn things from each other. And it's pretty epic. Henry Sr. teaches his son about philosophy, and there's some fun locations like a theater, and they get on a buggy ride with a guy named Aristotle, who named his donkey Plato, which is objectively hilarious. And it's funny seeing Henry talking about things that ancient Aristotle said, and then Aristotle, the buggy driver, is like, I didn't say that. And then Henry's like, no, you dork. And then he gets kicked off the buggy, but Indy gets to stay. So it's pretty hilarious. I like it. Oh, and they go to this old monastery on like a hill. I forget what it's called, but it was a pretty fun set piece. I think it's kind of interesting how it's considered one of the wonders of the world. And Indy meets this guy. I don't remember who he was exactly, and I didn't happen to catch his name. What was that name again?
Nikos Kazantzakis.
And again?
Nikos Kazantzakis.
Yeah, I can't make heads or tails of it. Anyway, they get caught on an elevator something for like 12 hours, and then the ending is heartwarming as they save each other. 10 out of 10. Best episode so far.